Everyone wishes to live their best life. We experiment with various ways to achieve that, whether it is through study, competing, finding a partner, working hard, or admiring someone who inspires you. It is the quality of our inner being that does it all, or grapples with fulfilling life's calling. For the past 20 years, the Brahma Kumaris in Washington, D.C. has been a space for any and everyone to enter into and experience one's soul calling. From 1997, the center opened in an old rickety house on Georgia Avenue in Silver Spring, Maryland, where cars and trucks that passed by would shake the space. But when you were inside, it was a peaceful and powerful sanctuary for all who visited. Since then, over 2,500 events, 17 city and nationwide initiatives, 21 awards, 2 meditation museums have served youths, senior citizens, entrepreneurs, scientists, authors, women, interfaith, the disabled, environment, small businesses, arts seekers, and even leaders. Millions of lives have been served, either through social media, the popular America Meditating radio show, or through exhibitions, lectures, partnerships, and programs held in the meditation museums and centers. We look at 20 years of service as a continued journey of love, courage, wisdom, and determination with friends from diverse backgrounds and thought who believe a better world is possible when we make ourselves better human beings. Meditation is an important tool that helps us to gain greater clarity, insights, and inner power so we can make healthy choices and amplify our capacity to live a full life. In times of great anxiety, insecurity, and fear, meditation is an essential practice for everyone to gain stability and inner strength. Just look at what a few dedicated, purposeful, and kind group of committed people have been able to achieve in 20 years. Thanks to everyone who've supported us along the way. And thanks in advance to those who believe in our work and power of intent. Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museums, where peace is inside. Om Shanti. Good afternoon.
Welcome. I hope you had a fairly decent Thursday today. And perhaps my definition of decent means you didn't get upset too much today, right? You were okay. Irritated, frustrated, feeling a sense of deep insecurity, fear. That's when my days don't go so well. But yet, because of those feelings, they also allow us to sort of dig deeper, push further. Haven't you felt that as well? Very few of us ever want to stay flat or down. And even if we do go down and get a little bit flat, the quiet thoughts in the consciousness are constantly trying to get us out. It's just that sometimes we don't feel the strength to get out of it. And so we try different ways, and if the ways that we try to get out of being stuck or feeling defeated are physical ways, then it's just short-lived. So the most important practice is to be aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. So I wanted this next hour together to be just an hour of real deep reflection, contemplation, awareness. I'd like you to imagine a pendulum. Have you ever seen one of those that had about 5 or 6 balls? Have you seen those? You remember, for some of us who are a little bit on the cautious side, we would take maybe the back ball or whatever and just pull it back a little bit. Have you noticed that? And when you release it, it takes the one in the front a little bit forward. So similarly, there are certain thoughts and experiences or choices that we've made. They seem pretty small. You pull it back a little. It goes back a little forward. But there are times that we find ourselves in what we think are our most challenging circumstances. We feel like we've really been knocked down. We question, how is this going to work out? Sometimes it happens because of a loss in relationship. We feel like we're down. Sometimes it's the loss of a loved one who has passed on. Sometimes we think that we have lost a job at a time when economically I really need the money. Or maybe the reason why you lost a job, you felt that you were mistreated and it was not justified, so to speak. There are times in which we encounter situations that we intellectually think it's a loss. But I'd like you to keep remembering it's the pendulum, it's the force of energy pulling back something within us to thrust us forward. Always. And so the importance of meditation is to have us be aware that we have the emotional, spiritual capacity to be able to let go and pull back as far as we can so that we can thrust forward. So what I'd like us to do just for a little bit, I'd like you to focus on one particular event in your life currently that you think is uncomfortable for you. It doesn't seem to be facilitating joy. Okay? So take your time and just allow either the event, the person, the circumstance, the situation. And I'd like you to look at it as if you're in the 10th row of a studio theater or a theater and you're in the 10th row. And you're looking at you in this situation and circumstance. And as you're looking at yourself in this circumstance and in this situation, is there anything that you would change? And it doesn't require changing the person. I'm talking about you. Is there anything inside of you that you would change? In how you're approaching the situation, the relationship, the circumstance. Take your time. You can write it, you can think it. If you'd like to share it, you can also share it. Whatever you think will be a process to thrust you forward and bounce back stronger after today.
Well, mine is not to take it personally, not to take it so personally, the unkindness
Of other.
shown to me in a professional situation. Because when I really intellectualize it, the person that showed me the unkindness would do that to another and another and another. It's really not.
It's not you, really, yeah, good. So just for the sake of YouTube, someone shared that not to take things personally is what she would do, because in a professional setting she's been experiencing someone has been quite unkind to her, but as she observes it at a broader perspective, she also notices the person is unkind to a lot of people as well. So it's actually not just her. Good answer. Don't take it personally. Anyone else? What would you change in your situation? I can share for one particular situation that we've been going through. It's with a very close family member that has endured some uncomfortable side effects from taking medications over a long period of time. And as a result, it has affected their neurological, situation, their mental situation, their physical situation. And as a community, we have almost inherited that responsibility of taking care of that person. And it has been a test for us in terms of there's respect and care for this person, but there's also life moving forward for us as well. And we're not able to move the person with us at the speed that we're moving. We're always having to go back to check, are they okay? And so what I would like to do for me is I would like to initiate more acceptance. Like when I look at myself, when I look at the scene, I know that we've done everything we can to make this person's life as comfortable as it can be. And I have to accept this is the unfolding of the story. And one of the things that we have learned in the teachings of Raja Yoga meditation, in order to allow the soul to be able to always bounce back very strong, is to accept that every soul is an actor in this drama of life, playing out their own part. Every soul is an actor in this drama of life, and they are playing out their own parts. And when you watch a movie, the main actors aren't caught up in what the extras are doing on the set. And the main actors aren't necessarily always caught up on the lines of the other actors on the set. The main actors are very focused on who they are and who they need to be, what they need to say. And their key focus is on the director. Nobody else. So in our meditation of Raj Yoga, for us the director is the supreme energy. That when I can align my vibrations to the source, to the supreme source, it's as if I get the signal of how to behave, how to think, how to see, how to interpret, how to feel, how to understand. It's as if the director only wants me to be the strongest character in this drama. right? And so when we're in meditation, it is important that we are able to focus on the fact that we all have a director in our lives, and that's that supreme light, the supreme energy. And if I can just focus my attention on that source, as I'm going through the breakup, as I'm going through the loss of money, as I'm going through the loss of a relationship through illness or death, maybe I might lose my job. Maybe someone hurt me. Maybe I have to relocate because of circumstances beyond my control. But if I can keep my eye on the director, and I'm a key player in my own drama, I'm the main actor in my drama. When I come into your drama, okay, there's a lot of main actors, but what is my part? So when I'm in meditation, it's so imperative for us to be able to practice being able to connect internally to the source. So let's try to see how that would feel. Continue with the practice of being in the theater. Ready? Sit in the 10th row of the audience again in your mind. And I'd like you to revisit the same situation that you did before I shared these ideas with you. I want you to think about the same situation and circumstance that you observed. And now, I'd like you to emerge the awareness that God, the Supreme Director, has got your back and is going to direct you in how to respond to the situation. And just for a little while, observe if it has changed the way you looked at the scenario 5-10 minutes ago. So now that the director is signaling to you through a subtle vibration, through a subtle influence of a different interpretation, and the vibration of this director is that which is absolutely the best. 100% he's going to say, this is how I want you to love this situation through. 100% this is how I want you to see how peace will come through this scenario. 100% I want you to observe how your joy will exude through this situation. 100% I want you to remain truthful during the situation. Now the director is telling you, now I need you to think and see it like this. I need you to see that situation from 100% in your personality, in your character, that you're now looking at that person or that situation from 100% love in your personality. Now, how would you deal with the situation? It's meditation. How would you deal with it?
Just observe and not react,
Mm-hmm.
not judge.
You'd observe, you would not react, you would not judge. Now imagine the director in the film is saying to you, this is what's going to occur in the scene of your drama. And because you are the main star of your show, that means you are like a superstar. So in your personality is 100% of love and peace and truth and joy. And now I want you to deal with the situation coming from that dimension. How do you respond to it? Observe how your body feels, how your mind feels, how your conscience feels, if you address the situation from there. I was thinking of our little situation that we have with us, and my mind automatically just felt like we just want to hold this person and just love them up until they heal. Last night I attended a function at the museum, and this person wanted to come with me. And unfortunately, I had to say, I can't take you on these programs anymore because I don't know what might happen. And it's an official program, and I'm sorry I'm not able to take you. And the person wanted me to really take them, and they started to seem to be a little bit sad, maybe sensing that I was rejecting them, but I wasn't rejecting them. I was trying to protect them and protect us. And just because of this workshop and exercise that I was practicing for you today, my response to it from meditation is that just hug them. Make them feel so comfortable as you leave them. I'll see you in 2 hours. Again, what is becoming stronger and bouncing back as a person is to be able to come forward with such light in your presence and in your personality and in the way that you handle your affairs, that there's no trace or trail of sorrow behind you. So let's do another little practice and experiment. Is there a visual going on behind me? Behind me? Okay, good. Good. So I'd like you to be very present in observing the visual behind my chair or behind my back. Are you watching the visual? Okay. I have no idea what's on the visual, FYI. And you don't need to tell me. But are you watching the visual? Are you enjoying the visual? Yes, you're enjoying it. Is it making you feel at peace? Is it making you feel relaxed? Nice? Yes, yes. Very peaceful scenes. Good. I'm so glad. And now I'd like to ask Santosh to turn off the visual and just give me a blank screen. Let me know when it's off. In the meanwhile, you can enjoy the visual. Are you calm and relaxed? And when Santosh turns off the visual, no, just, you can't just power it, okay. Okay. Is it off? Yes. Okay. So when you were watching the visual, who was watching the visual on the screen? You were. You were. And was this real or was this real? Was this real or was this what you were feeling real? Which one? Combination. A combination. So what you were watching on the screen, was it real, or what was happening in you that was feeling what you were watching?
It was real in its own time.
It was real in its own time, but okay, so it was real in its own time, but at this time it's more real.
No, we are more real.
We are more real. Okay.
Our time, but that was real in its time.
Okay. So what's happening behind me now? Is the screen blank?
Yes.
That was very assertive. Thank you. So now I'd like you to see if you can create the same feelings on the blank screen. Look at the blank screen. And I'm going to ask you to just sit quietly and see if you can create the same relaxed feeling you had when there were visuals on the screen. Eyes opened, looking at the screen. Is it the same feeling? There's a what?
There's a desire to bring the visuals back.
There's a desire to bring the visuals back. Interesting answer. Anyone else? The screen is off. Now you're only with whose company? Whose company are you now with only? Okay. Oh, I get it. So prior to the screen going blank, you were watching something that was being, engaging you in a feeling of relaxation and pleasure and joy, and all of this was happening where? On the screen or in your mind? Mm, it was happening on the screen or in your mind?
Mind. But we were,
On the screen through our eyes into our
Okay,
mind, but if it wasn't there,
okay.
we were thinking.
But what about the feelings?
well, at that moment, it's the feeling that is projected from the screen to our eyes and therefore to the brain. But
Okay.
we have that same, I had the same feeling when there was nothing on the screen.
Okay, good, good. So now with the screen blank, sitting in your own company, I'd like to see how long we can sit in peace without one waste or negative thought entering our consciousness, just for a little. And if you sense a waste or negative thought has entered, simply close your eyes. But for now, I'd like you to keep your eyes opened in meditation, focusing on the blank screen behind my head. And when you observe that something unuseful, that something that is useless has entered your thinking, then simply close your eyes. And I want you to remember the feeling you had when those visuals were there. Are you feeling sweet? Are you feeling loved? Are you feeling light? Well, let's say, don't worry about the visuals. How are you feeling just with your own company? There are no more distractions. It's just you. How are you feeling with just you? No distractions. You're just in your own mind. What's sitting in your mind? What thoughts are swimming in and out, up and down, in a circle? Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable in your own company without any distraction? Just be. Appreciate who you are and the role that you play. Acknowledge the director in your drama. Keep your eyes focused on the one who has the experience to make you your best. What's in your mind? Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out slowly. And for this time, just settle into you. However life is unfolding for you, in whatever way it's showing up for you, can you just accept it as it is, with love and grace? until you can feel that your acceptance of love and grace goes deep into your heart. And the feelings are as real as it was when there is a visual helping to stimulate that memory or that experience. Breathe in deeply and slowly, and exhale slowly. Breathe in deeply and exhale slowly. Breathe in deeply and exhale slowly. What if every breath you took had a positive vision and a positive idea about who you are? And what if every exhale was a release of that which is wasteful or negative? Observe your breath. Breathe in, receiving all that is true and good and right from the director. Breathe out what messes you up. Breathe in what makes you good, best. Breathe out observe how the body feels as you become more aware of the thoughts that you generate in the soul. Breathe in what you need, what's good. Breathe out what you're ready to release. We'll hold a moment of silence as we continue to watch our breath and become clear in what we don't need anymore. Allow your breath to go even deeper. As if you're absolutely open for receiving such an abundance of that which is good for you. So that your exhale is so clear on what isn't serving you anymore. Take deeper breaths. Hold it for a second and then release. Breathe in the influence of the director's vision on you. Breathe out all the extras that try to step in your way. Hold your silence. Observe how the body is feeling. In this stage of inner stillness, there's an energy running from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, and it's clearing out all your vibrations because you breathe in what is required and you're releasing what isn't. No more complaints, no more criticism, no more insecurity, no more lack, no more fear, no more expectation. You breathe in light, God, peace, acceptance, respect, love, worthy, creativity, courage, fortune, power. Observe how it makes you feel. Breathe. Stay focused on this practice. By now your mind should be very clear, an open vessel, a golden vessel. And from this clean space, our next stage of practice, help us to bounce back even stronger. From the thoughts in your mind, can you send your blessings to that specific relation? From your mind, I want you to imagine that your thought is the weapon, and the weapon is love, acceptance, forgiveness, and calm. And that one thought you're shooting one person that has you holding on to all the garbage inside. And I want you to continuously generate your blessings for that soul. Bless them. Acknowledge that they're doing their best, whatever that might be. But acknowledge, but just keep blessing them. I bless you. I love you. I respect you. I wish you well. And I want you to continuously create that train of thought until you can feel those thoughts in your heart and they really, genuinely are real for you. Over and over again. From your mind, send your blessings to that soul. Talk to them with your thoughts as if it was the very first time you've met them. And all is good. It could be your child, it could be your husband, it could be a colleague at work, it could be a relative, it could be a friend, it could be your next door neighbor. Bless them. Wish them well. I wish you happiness. I wish you love. I wish you peace. I wish you calm. Keep repeating it until you feel it in your heart, being really true for that soul, clean out that energy from your personality. Love them as they are. Love them as they are. Bounce yourself into the future of a stronger version that you can love that person that has been your greatest test. Love them as they are. And wish them well. We're all communicating with each other soul to soul. When the mind is clear, we can connect with each other a lot easier, soul to soul. When I have waste or negative thoughts for you, it's just toxicity, bouncing off of toxicity, keeping that alive. When my mind is clean and my mind is pure, and I have a pure feeling for you and a blessing, I don't get what you're trying to give to me. That's not where I am. I'm breaking the cycle today. Love them as they are. Bless them. Wish them well. Let it go. Observe how your body is feeling and how the soul is feeling. Is it going through a healing? Are you beginning to forgive even yourself for allowing other people's issues to get stored in your treasure store? That specific person that you're focusing on right now, have you taken a lot of their junk into you? Do you think about it? Do you talk about it? Do you feel it? Do you repeat it every time you go in front of that person? Do you repeat the feeling, expecting the relationship and the situation to stay the same? Do you do that? Send them your good wishes. Bless them. The more you have pure feelings for that soul, and the more you bless them, the quicker you will be free. And at peace with your life. And allow your awareness to just sink into silence. For a little while. As we continue this exercise, the next stage is that now you're in such a positive state of awareness that you can invite the energy of God's love hovering over you. Just experience and feel God's love hovering over you, because now you're ready for that energy. Observe what it feels like to have that subtle vibration of God's presence just hovering over you like the sprinkle of stardust, like sunlight shining, warming you, filling you with all the treasures. Invite the energy of God to just keep hovering over you, protecting you, empowering you, clearing you up even more, giving you more space for fortune, creativity, abundance, peace. Can you feel God's love hovering over you? Very pleased with you right now. You've finally become the image of the Father by loving another soul unconditionally. When we call ourselves children of the divine, children of the source, it means our nature, our thoughts, our intentions are similar. So with God's energy hovering over you, sending these beautiful vibrations into your personality, now think of that one person again. How do you feel now? Think of the situation maybe. How does it feel now? Does it feel possible? Or does it feel like an impossible situation? It feels possible. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Breathe in again. And exhale. What I'd like you to do now is to turn to the person next to you, and from the state that you're in, from the stage that you're in, I'd like you to share with your partner very briefly what was your experience without any need to convince them if it was real or not. If you had no experience, then you can share that as well. But just to share your experience very briefly from that space of having God's energy hovering over you, knowing that you're a well-wisher for that one particular person that might be your greatest test paper right now. So just for 5 minutes, take that time. And if you can't match up 2, then it could be 3. Another 2 minutes. All right. No rush, thank you. Are you all ready to come back into the space? Yeah? So give me about another 30 seconds. We can come back and slowly, so that we can continue. So I would love to hear some of the stories that came back from some of you. I'm so glad that so much came up in your meditation. It's a lot that comes up in silence, isn't it? Right? A lot more comes up in silence than in sound, actually, which is quite unique. All right. How was that? Was that a good interaction and sharing? Would anyone like to share in the gathering? I think Santosh says that we lost power, so it's off of Facebook. So I think you can share quite openly with the group. Anyone would like to share anything about what transpired? Maybe the one who was listening to the story of the other person? What did you receive from the other person's story as they were narrating it to you? Anyone would like to share?
Well, when I was coming in, I was late, and when I saw her in the hallway, it was horrible. And I remember she was outside on the phone, and I said, "Is it okay if I park here?" No. And she went like this, and I mean, I wasn't upset or anything, but I thought, oh, okay. And then here we are, telling each other's story.
Wonderful.
I mean, that we meant to talk to each other further.
It was destined. Yes, yes, lovely. And anyone else would like to share what they took from their story of their moment of meditation in that practice? How did you think? How was the practice for you? Did you feel like a clearing took place?
Yes, it was very blissful. I felt like flying, like a dove flying.
Felt blissful.
Very light.
Yes. It's interesting that we might not be conscious that we are holding somebody's issues in our hearts, but when we become aware that we are responsible for this feeling and then we start to release it and cleanse it, don't you feel a complete difference in your consciousness and in your presence? Yes? Okay. You feel much lighter, exactly. Anyone else would like to share their experience?
So I still feel very heavy, but I'm praying to want to forgive this person and want to bless them and want to let them go. We're so stuck in a rut and we're drowning each other emotionally and spiritually. So maybe if I keep praying to want to bless him,
Yes.
eventually I will get there.
It will. And one of the things I'll suggest is that when you go home to replay this session, because you had missed like half of it. No, no, don't be, don't. And so what happens if you can go back into the process from the beginning until now, it might also be just a little bit easier to really let that happen. Anyone else? Anne?
Yes, so I was visualizing the person, and it was a very visual experience. Like I saw them there looking harsh and stark and kind of mean, and then just like becoming like a glow of light. Like I couldn't really make out. I mean, I could tell it was a human form, but I couldn't really see the face anymore. It was more like a glow of light. And then what was really interesting as we were going through the meditation, I would find myself almost falling asleep, and then the energy would come up. Sort of like the waves
An ebb and
washing
flow.
in and out.
So Anne was sharing that at the beginning, she was visualizing the person. It was in a harsh form, and as she continued to go through the journey, they started to change like bud, and almost as if she couldn't see them in a physical form, and they just became a form of light. And there were times in which she could feel like she was falling into a sleep, but then she would wake up. So it was like this ebb and flow, that there was something going on, that she was moving. There was something happening, and that's quite beautiful. Anyone else would like to share any realization from this practice? Because you just bounced back much stronger. When you can remove people from your heart, you're bouncing back. Or should I say, you're bouncing forward. We had a wonderful guest here from Turkey this week, and I'm not quite sure if, Sister Jenna was sharing in a session with them that just recently she ended up cleaning up the garage. And it was an interesting story because there was no intention to clean the garage, and I'd like you to look at it at a spiritual level. It's like whenever you turn inwards, there's a lot of stuff and you go, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready to sort me out. So you stay outside of yourself. And you use all the paraphernalias to make you think you're okay, whether it's food, comes back stronger. You've got to focus on what's good for you. Have moments of silence. Let out what really isn't anymore. But that one person or situation that keeps occurring, you can feel it in your body. It doesn't feel right. There was a 13-year-old that we had once asked the 13-year-old to go up and speak to somebody. And the 13-year-old said something that has struck me up until this day. And he said, I'm sorry, Sister Jenna, I don't want to talk to her. And I said, but why? She doesn't inspire confidence in me. 13 years old. He was like, she doesn't inspire confidence in me. How many people in your life do you feel that way with? So I'm going to end our session today, that I'd like you to leave on the note of, you just went up a lot higher today. My invitation to you, Antonia, are you there? Is anyone out there? No. But my invitation to you is to keep yourself at that level as much as you can during the day. And when that person or that situation or that circumstances reappears and you can feel this isn't stimulating confidence in you, you must recognize that if you choose to take on board that person, you're filling up your garage with somebody's junk. And you have to make a choice. Do I want to keep doing that? There is a kind of a freedom and the kind of a lightness and the kind of a spiritual beauty that's already in us. But it's not showing fully yet because of all the gunk in the way. So practice the stages that we just offered in this simple time together, and rewatch it, rethink it, think about it. That person, that thing that keeps, go in, bless that soul until you feel it. Because everything that we're going through is happening from within our minds. It's our minds. It's in our thought level. Okay? All right. Any other thoughts to share before we close off with a few moments of silence? We had a nice meeting 2 months ago, and myself and our staff decided that we want to do more meditation workshops and exercises. But because everything that we do is so knowledge-based that we don't think about everyone, because we know knowledge is the source of power. However, for us to get to that place of knowledge and finding space to take more information in, I've got to be clear. And I've got to have room in here, in the soul. So I'll leave you with this life question as we leave tonight. And the life question is, how much are you willing to glow? How much are you willing to glow? That's it. So every time I'm critical, frustrated, rushed, angry, afraid, judgmental, critical, complaining, expecting, being pessimistic, comparing, that glow is getting less. So that means any of those markers are like, that's taken away my glow. So, life question tonight before you leave, how much are you willing to glow? How much are you willing to shine so bright? Observe that answer seeping through as you're driving home tonight, as you enter your home tonight, as you speak to someone tonight that wasn't in the session with you. How much are you willing to glow when you say hello to them? Okay? All right. Om Shanti. Antonia, you have some announcements to make. Antonia, you have some announcements to make. And I know we have our inspiration stones that Sangi has been doing, and it's just a beautiful story. Geet Agarwal is a physician, and her husband is an engineer. And they have become quite regular students here. But because of the visa status, she's not allowed to work in the country because she's under her husband's visa, all legitimate, they're all legal. And what happened is that she says, I've gotten so much from here, I just feel like I need to give something back. You've changed our lives so much since we've been here, and she just felt like I just can't keep coming and taking like that. So at home, she started to collect these rocks, and then eventually she started to buy these stones and rocks. And at home, she would design these artworks on these rocks. And then she donated them to the museum as her way of giving back. And now I have initiated for her, you need to make this a business because I think you're awesome in it. So those are available. I know Dr. Smita in her practice has them all over. It's been so sweet to walk into her office and see the quotations. At the end of the month, we have a lot of amazing programs happening, which Antonia will tell you. But one in particular is the mass meditation we would like to do here on June 29th, so we can amplify the vibrations. So June 29th from 11 to 1 o'clock, which would be just deep meditations, and it's a Saturday. And then in Tyson's will be a similar event, but on July 11th, and that will be, I think, in the evening. So Antonia has cards, and she has requested if she could get your cooperation in you taking as many as you wish to distribute with areas and places that you think would be valued, will be valued. So we had gotten a lot of the cards for that specifically. We also have a wonderful author coming on June the 30th, Mr. Peter Guzadi, who did a book called The Emerald of Oz, which is fantastic. And so he's going to be at the Tyson's Meditation Museum on June 30th. And it's about the Wizard of Oz, but also the 9 jewels that we find along the way in life, which are quite powerful. So we've gone through the program with him. I know that those are the 3 things that I'm remembering, but I know that there's more. And Antonia is consistently trying to get rid of these CDs, and everybody knows these CDs by now. But we also do have a lot of nice other CDs in the back, and books as well, that we have available if you'd like to support the museum. Anything else? And as Antonia likes to remind us, just whatever your heart feels to be an offering, please do that if you wish. And do know that your presence, your love, your care has been the greatest contribution that we could ever receive. Because I know that that gives us life to continue every day. So thank you so much. And anything else? Are you sure? Okay. All right. So this Saturday we'll have Learn to Meditate from 11 to 12. And on Sunday, if you're not an advanced student, on the Washington Mall, we are collaborating with the Indian Embassy. We will be there from 8:30 in the morning until 11. But from 8:30 in the morning until 10:30 for the International Day of Yoga. So if you'd like to come out in the morning, 8:30. So 8:30 in the morning till 10:30 for International Day of Yoga. If you'd like to come out and spend the day, we are going to be there for our early morning session, but we're also just going to spend the day and do kite flying and have a picnic. So if you'd like to join us, please do from 8:30 to 10:30. The Indian Embassy and the coalition of groups will conduct the yoga practices. And I believe after that, the Indian Embassy has organized the Smithsonian to have a vegetarian cook fest. So there'll also be vegetarian foods available if you'd like to go and eat there as well. So that'll be, I think, across the street from the Washington Monument. So if you wish to plan for Father's Day, for just the father and the family to come out and have a beautiful day together, this Sunday would be perfect. Where you just say, we're going to be out at 8 and just stay as long as we want and just have a family outing, it'll be a perfect day to do it. Now, if it storms and rains, I ain't going to be there. But I know there's some folks who can weather the storm, just FYI. All right, so I think that's all for now. Great. All right, so I'd like everyone to give a big smile to your perfect self. Can you imagine smiling at your own perfected image of yourself? What would that smile be like? How would you look at your perfected state? And how would you feel about your perfected state? No flaws, no limits, no wants. It's sweet, huh? All right. So Santosh will end the meditation with breathe. And thanks so much for coming, my dear friends, and we'll see you soon.
can feel, I believe I am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. To push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender.